Kong's Russ, and welcome to a Sunday Funday show where we're bringing you live HD footage of my home arcade. This is the most crystal clear I've ever been on YouTube. So yes, this stream is brought to you partly by my good buddy Justin Console Kits, who is still kind of talking to a couple of us behind the scenes. I mean, we're friends outside of YouTube. I miss him dearly on the YouTube space, but don't worry, he's doing really well. But the last stream I did, I was making a couple videos, and I've been using an Elgato face cam for my main camera as a talking head camera for a long time. And I'm looking at other YouTubers, and I'm like, man, they have that nice bokeh effect. And so I was like, hey, what are you guys using? You know, I've asked this question before. But Justin was like, hey, I have an extra M200 Canon, and would you like to test it out for a little bit and see if it works for you? And then maybe you can purchase your own. So he shipped it to me just to test out. And this is the first time I'm testing it out. I'm using an Elgato Cam Link with an HDMI filter or connection. And look how good we look, Mrs. Kongzaras. This is amazing. We're like in crazy HD right now. The camera's up there if you want to talk to the audience. Then you can look here.
It is very off-putting because now I have to actively look up to look like I'm talking to y'all.
Yeah. All right. Let me hook up this mic to you.
You could, folks could barely hear me. This like blur feature is intense.
It is super intense. Okay, let me just make sure I get Mrs. Kongzaras mic'd up real fast. Let me turn this off and then on. But tell the people, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. What was this from Video Game Vegas? Hello, Kongzaras and fam. I'm just going to say the safe thing here. What you need in your home arcade is, aside the man shoving his hand up my shirt, is a huge cat jungle gym, which, yes, that would be. Oh, and if we'd have to get rid of a couple of cabs, that would be quite ideal.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, it's magnetic too. So like we're using fancy-ish equipment, you know, just because last time I've been using a steady mic and it's been going in and out. So
okay.
Hello, chat. Hello. Holy cow, HDTV. What's up, B? I know. What's up, Paul? Appreciate you being here. What up, chat? Chrissy. Tim York is here. Vic PPC says, sheesh, new cam. I know, right? The cam looks so good. The bokeh.
I think it has a hard time spotting the
like
person because it would fuzz me out if I sat like.
Yeah, it's like auto adjusting. And I guess we'll have to play around with like, because right now this is a mobile setup. I have my laptop right here.
Oh my God.
The camera back
this is
here.
The worst setup ever.
She has, what's wrong with this setup? People like to see the arcade.
They can see the arcade, but we're on top of a box. This laptop is precariously balancing on top of a box. The box is empty too.
Yeah. So, but look, before I would have the face cam actually sitting on top of the laptop. So if I move the laptop, then the camera would shake. No, I have it on its own fancy stand. The camera is permanently put on its own
reading
stand.
Chat is going to shake the entire time.
Yeah. No, they won't even see that.
I know, but we're
all it's fine. It's fine, people. Enjoy the new HD look, right? So appreciate that.
They can see our HD meal. Our meal.
What are we eating? Happy Chinese New Year, by the way.
Yesterday was the last day of
New
Year's.
Happy Lunar New Year. Appreciate that.
But yeah, thank you. Yesterday was the last day of Lunar New Year. We celebrate by having Lantern Festival, which pretty much culminates the celebration of the festivals and all that jazzy business. My mom stopped by and gave you a delightful treat.
Intestines.
I was gonna show the camera how like. Oh, I have to do this beauty tutorial now. Oops, too high.
Too high? No.
No, too close. Whatever. Here, eat it.
Oh.
Pork intestines.
Yes, fried pork intestines. Yummy.
With some pickles.
Oh,
you're gonna crunch on screen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What else do you have to drink and eat?
Well, you have your punch buggy, and this is also balancing very precariously on stool. The Kongzaras is a master modder. But he also likes to put things dangerously on things.
I just like balancing things where I can. And essentially, if you want to see the home arcade, which is the topic for today's show, I feel like it's near completion. And so this is, fun to be able to make content in this current space right now. So we are in the hallway, pointing the camera back towards the home arcade. Because I think a couple of streams, it's actually been a while since we've done a live stream. The last live stream we did from here, we've been doing it from this location. I feel like more frequently now. It's like, before I was, if you look in that back corner, move to the side just a little bit. So that back corner right there where the Marvel vs. Capcom cabinet is, I used to have a laptop in that corner sitting on top of the cabinet, shooting this way so you can see the pinball machines in the background. So that was kind of like my other go-to spot for a long time. In previous iterations of the arcade, when the pinball machines are here, we had a racing rig right here to sit down, and we would have it facing this way, and it would have like the Tron and Street Fighter 2 Dragons there kind of set up. But now, like, it's too crowded in there because I have the dang Star Wars Battle Pod. But I mean, the Star Wars Battle Pod is freaking awesome. But you can't really sit in there and have a camera. Well, maybe I can set up a camera somewhere up there. Maybe I should hide the camera inside the giant Battle Pod sign. No,
so
maybe
we can like do point of view as you're playing.
Point it down, maybe. So maybe that'll be another possible place to stream. So this is like the latest iteration, and so this is kind of a fun topic just for me to talk about, which is what's next. What is the next final missing thing that'll complete the home arcade? At the moment, every spot is filled. There's one tiny little space right now between the T2 and the Ridge Racer, and in fact, I don't even know if that whole row of cabinets that's sitting over there is something that's going to permanently stay in my collection. Everything that's on this side of the wall, I feel very attached to, and I feel like this is like a pretty set location of things that I have. Point Blank, I'll definitely be keeping, but that wall over there, that corner, I have my racing rig now with Star Wars Battle Pod, so I don't know if I'm going to be keeping the Outrun, the Ridge Racer, and the T2 at some point, but they're beautiful cabs though, so that's the thing.
So that sounds like what Vegas gaming or video game Vegas is saying too. We should get giant cat condos everywhere. Well, I mean, this is their earlier comment.
Oh, he was saying, oh, you're just gonna say the same thing.
So get rid of Ridge Racer, Outrun, and Terminators to turn the cat jungle gym over
Jungle Gym. You know, well, maybe that's a future mod, a cat jungle gym. Is that what he was saying? Maybe, possibly. Maybe add some little things on top of it. I mean, they already kind of jump on top of the cabinets whenever they can. But no, we weren't door dashing. We've been doing some other
quick grabs.
Yeah.
So I have my Bulldog spicy ramen, the kimchi version.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a
Up Chef Brewery Punch Buggy.
You're doing that, and I'm doing the Burgundy.
Cheers.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's up, Raul Carranza? Good to see you, man. Give your old camera to Bobby Vu. You know what? I actually did, when I was working with Bobby a lot closer, I tried to upgrade his equipment and get him streaming with a little bit, like slightly better streaming equipment besides his phone camera, so he wouldn't have like a shaky hand cam. I bought him a gimbal he never used. I bought him a what is it, like a webcam, a PTZ webcam, which at least upgrades your camera. But he just never, he's a creature of habit. What can I say, right? And so
iPhone, live or die iPhone.
Live or die iPhone, man. So quick and easy, man. Set it up and make it work. And then Bobby is also, when I was first getting into the hobby, and Bobby still does this, and God bless him, he's the king of posting like Amazon Lightning deals or like those coupon deals. Just like, oh, get this deal. And so I'm sure his affiliate link volume is awesome. But he used to like post 4K camera deals, and it was like 4K webcam, only like $10.99. Well, I'm just saying, like, he would buy them, but there's a difference of quality. If you can call something 4K, and it might technically have those specs, but there's a difference in the quality between kind of the name brand higher end stuff and then some of the lower end things that you would be using to stream. So this camera, this Canon M200, for those that are just joining us, console kids let me borrow a camera just to try it out, and this is the amazing bokeh effect that you get now. So I might be looking into this.
The sweat effect, you can see me glistening.
I know, it's still glistening. I know, I brought a towel just to wipe your face. If I can wipe down the face and dab a little bit. So we'll have to get used to this setup right now, but hopefully you guys are appreciating that.
Tammy G, these are spicy
noodles. She's doing spicy noodles, and we have intense. Oh, we have some portos too. We had a family get together. Some family members brought some portos. But yeah, today's just a casual chill and chat. If you guys have any questions, other thoughts that you might have for ideas, projects, things you think would make a good home arcade, because I'm reflecting back a lot this past week of where I've come from the start of this whole journey to currently. I released my Battle Pod video last week on Tuesday, and it was a big retrospective look. I don't know if that's the right word, from the start of where this home arcade journey started. I had pictures of my home arcade at various stages playing Battle Pod throughout the years. I'll show parts of that to Mrs. Kongzuras, and I want to get her thoughts on it. But it's evolved quite a bit from where we started. I even did this last time I did a YouTube stream. I was like, hey, here's kind of where we started. But I'm so happy now that I can truly say the home arcade is near completion.
Everyone clip that, please. Replay it every single time. He decides he wants to buy something.
Yeah, no, well, it's like it's finally at a place where I feel very comfortable showing off the whole kind of section in its entirety. I would say at any given point in the last 4 years, 3.5 years, for the better part of it, there was always at least some half of the arcade that was under construction. There was a project I was working on, there was mods that I was doing, there was commissions that I was happening with boards all over the place. There's parts and supplies literally from floor to ceiling inside of the arcade that I'd be playing in. And yes, there's definitely some spare parts here and there, but they're mostly hidden underneath the pinball machines. I'm using that for storage space. But for the most part, you can actually walk in and out of my arcade. And the biggest thing for me is I've actually had a couple of guests over that have come over to like enjoy the arcade occasionally, which is like, that's the dream, right? We all create these home arcades, yes, for your own pleasure, but to have other people enjoy it as well. I've had more times in the last like month and a half, 2 months, people enjoying the arcade than I feel like we've had in the 4 years that we've been here. I mean, like there's only been a handful of times, right, where we've had guests over, right?
It is still quite tight. Mm-hmm. So your comment about having two grown men play games, they can't really play next to each other.
Yeah.
You can't have stools.
Yes. Yeah. I have to get rid of the stools. The stools definitely are good for streaming right now. We're sitting on 4 stools, but that's pretty much all they're good for. And maybe like 1 or 2 just for kind of like some people to stand. But having a stool in front of every single arcade, there's just no space for people in here at all. So the stools have got to go, unfortunately. Sad.
As well as some other cabs?
No, I don't think there's many that are really. I really like my collection. I'm almost ready. Here's where I'm almost ready to do like a full-on arcade tour. I think we did a mini one. The last live stream you and I did when we were kind of reviewing the Battle Pod, we did a mini tour, but it never was like a full-on tour like that was really well produced. And some people really love game room tours. I've been self-conscious about my arcade because it's always been in a state of construction. And then if it ever got good enough, I was working on a new project. So I think I'm very, very close. I want to like plug that one last hole right there to be able to put something there.
You do like to plug holes.
Yeah. Yes, Mrs. Congress. I love plugging holes. But one last place to put there. So that's the question. I'd love to ask the chat and have a conversation with folks. I want to go over the types of cabinets that I have in my collection. And again, the point is, yes, you can play these on a multi-arcade, but having a home arcade with multiple different variations of games really creates that nice feel. So I want to go over some of the types of arcades I have, and then hopefully get some feedback about what things you think could round out that final spot, or I already have some projects in the work too that we can talk through as well. All right, what else do we have here? Any other kind of chat thingies that you wanted to pull up? These are your friends, I assume, are just random. No, these are all friends. These are friends and family that have been gathering over at the house.
So Video Game Vegas, spicy, has asked, with all the Sugar Cavs mods Buy Stuff Stores doing, have you ever thought of building a mini PC with gun game builds?
I would say I dabbled in kind of the light gun game or gun builds during my Star Wars yoke mod phase, where I created like my own playlist of gun games, but I really left it to the gun experts, Brad D, Retro Lizard, Arpeg Electronics, Vic VP. Those guys are way more into the light gun PC builds. And so I've never fully made and ventured into doing my own. And it's evolved since I've gotten my hands on a PC. And I think I have Arpeg Electronics version of his Gun for IR drive. I did make my own custom playlist in terms of the artwork and design for it. So it's not your launch box that's launching a menu. I made custom kind of categories because like when you say light gun games, that's like a whole hundreds of games that you can put in one category. So I made custom categories that was like all-time all-star favorite light gun games that are AAA titles. And then I made mounted gun games, which are like your T2s and your Transformers or Human Alliance games or Jurassic Park. And then I made another one for like Time Crisis and Buck. So I made categories for certain things. So yeah, I did venture into doing that. And maybe at some point I'll share that out. But yeah. I saw some other people in here I just want to say hello to. Paul Bear says, it's never finished, just like how fashion is never finished. I think that's true. I think there's always some point of evolution that we'll have with our arcades. There may be something that leaves and has to come in. But like when I say finished, it's like I'm really proud of where it's at and what it looks like, turning this space from a previously sparsely used den.
It was used.
Sparsely used, maybe for nap times and things, into a fun home arcade that I'm pretty proud of. And like, the Battle Pod video that I released and can finally talk more about it, I really think it's like the icing on the cake for having that as one of the centerpieces. It looks fantastic. So Mrs. Kongzura, somebody was even asking me on one of my videos, was like, what do you think of that massive machine back there? Like, you haven't really gotten to talk much about it.
It's a massive machine back there.
It's huge. It's huge. I love it. I love it. Excellent show on your battle pod construction. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was really fun to be putting that together. I think I saw something else here that was saying like battle pod is badass. Somebody's talking about, Paul was saying no neon signs. I think that's probably like my next phase of game room design, because I haven't put a lot of thought into the actual game room decor at whole. I think a lot of the potential to add neon and lighting and extra things is definitely another next step that I can do as well. So what's next? Probably game room decor, including some neon signs. I remember hosting podcasts a while back that says best game rooms. And I was looking at people like C-Mart the Centatena, if he's around, but he does a lot of Govi lighting in his arcades.
Look at all the chili oil.
Chili oil, yum. So that could be something that we add into the top area. The only thing that I did before I started moving everything in was I did add some nice brick wallpaper that I think adds some nice ambiance to the area. So yeah, but besides that, I have a Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Evo 37 little plaque over there. I have a sign that Angel Arturo Jr. made, and then this really cool Kong's R Us light up sign that Arcade Mountain and Laramie from Retro 530 gave to me. And then I have this giant poster too that I have to hang. It's from Sterling Campbell that gave me a Marvel's Capcom 3 cabinet or poster sign. So I don't have much arcade decor. So people are saying like, yeah, we can do game room design. Like, what do you think of the game room itself? Like, when you see it now, does it still make you cry? Like, do you think it looks
These
nice?
are not tears of spice. These are tears of, I don't know. Oh, this is spicy.
But seriously though, I mean, like, I think it's like the joke that maybe you roll your eyes and say, oh my God, my husband has an arcade. But have you ever been like proud to talk about it to like your coworkers or show it off or something like that? Or come on. It's kind of a cool topic to talk about, right? Like, I think you've been like, hey, check this out. There's a lot of spicy noodles here. Seriously though, no? Like, you've never like bragged that you have a home arcade to anybody ever at all? It burns. She's saying that, but there was a time where I was on vacation and she had her coworkers over here without me here. So you hosted somebody in the arcade without me. Andy's Game Run says, no, it doesn't burn, right? That's some spice. Yeah. Dude, what's up, Mo? Yeah, we're looking super crisp right now. We're using a new Canon M200 that Justin let me borrow. I was trying to get Mrs. Kongdress to confess that she actually truly loves the home arcade and likes having this in the space. I think it makes us pretty unique in terms of having some nice home arcade atmosphere for the folks. No? You are really red.
My lips are so red.
Chili oil, man.
You can't even see because the light's bouncing off of it.
All right, Chris says, decor, signs, and lighting is half the fun of doing a game room. You've gone apeshit, so it's borderline crazy, but still cool. Chris, let me know if you have pictures that you want to send, to kongzarus.arcade@gmail.com. I'd really be curious about seeing it. In fact, if anybody has their game room on and has other ideas for neon signs, decor, and you might be interested in joining the show, put a 1 in the chat, and then maybe if there's enough people, we'll consider bringing some folks on so we can get some inspiration, Mrs. Kongzarus. It's about what's next, and I think game room decor is actually probably something else that I can invest some time and thought into because I don't think I've really done that. But yeah, home arcade, it's exciting. Yeah.
Okay.
No?
It's gonna burn as I talk because all that heat coming off my lips and onto the chili stained mouth that I have. In all honesty, I am very proud of the things that you've managed to Tetris into our space. I am very proud of the workings of your mind and how they actually have become they've evolved and they actually are real versus you just talking about things that you're going to do. Sometimes slightly terrified when you're doing wiring and you've never done wiring before. But if I had to say, it is a hobby that takes up a lot of space, but at least it's something that people can see and can enjoy when they fit into the space.
Thank you. That was well eloquently said.
Okay.
It's she's sweating. It's really hot. Yeah, just trying catching up with chat a little bit here. Jay says that I add Scholar Squadrons to my new build yet. No, I haven't had time to play and enjoy yet, but that's definitely something I'm gonna do. Godly, the DDR panel that you were holding on, that definitely is one of our next projects that we can talk about. I will be doing potentially. I don't know if I'm gonna do a full-on DDR cabinet, but
you don't have space for a DDR.
I have one space for it. I could.
Anyone fit that? Oh, I guess with your hand.
Oh, it's a hand DDR panel, so it's not going to be like the full-on stepping one. But Rhythm Arcades, that's the one thing that I'm actually missing. That was going to be like my grand finale. So yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But let me just catch up with chat a little bit and see if there's anything else here. The mic level dropped. Oh, I'm sorry about that. We're trying to use these mics and they're trying to auto adjust us. And then Mrs. Kong's rest is running around too. So just make sure that when you go run off somewhere and use the restroom that you don't leave your mic on. That would be awkward. No, that's not an NBA Jam. I don't have an NBA Jam. That is one thing I never really got into, actually. I never got into sports games. So in fact, I had an NBA Jam, but then I donated it to Smog City.
They're currently holding it.
Holding it, right? I guess I technically could bring it back, but I don't think I would.
And then you had
an NFL Blitz.
NFL Blitz for like a hot moment.
Which if I ever do get it back, I think I would probably do the 99 Lives mod that Cornercade did and convert it into a 2-player cabinet, because then it wouldn't take up so much space. So that's definitely a possibility. What's up, Al? Appreciate you being here, man. It's been a while. Appreciate you being here. Video Game Vegas says, if you ever need any tips on lighting, Congress, let me know. Your arcade is a basic extravaganza. I absolutely would love to see pictures or videos of your arcade, Video Game Vegas, because I think I do. I'm ready for some inspiration to be able to doing that. Brad says, do I have any updates on the full-size arcades I have in the garage area? That's a good question, Brad, that I'll
When are we going to get rid of it?
For another show. When, I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm actually pretty ready. I think now that I've been in a good space with this, it's probably a good time to clean out that area and start working on those cabinets. I think that's finally been always one of my goals.
Start downsizing those cabinets, especially one that does not work.
Yeah, well, I could fix it, and maybe it could work. Maybe the pod racer is probably the one that might go because it doesn't work, but the other two I think I would keep. So we'll see. Yeah, but soon I have the time. I have the time now. You're just about to ask about room decor. You highly recommend AVD Pro. Interesting. All right, sounds good. I'll check that out, man. All right, let's see where else with that with chat. Sports is where it's at. Meh. I like sports. I follow sports, but I didn't have nostalgia for playing sports games. Like my brother would play sports titles and things. I play like NBA Live 95, but that was pretty much it. I played some Tecmo Super Bowl back on the Nintendo, but that was pretty much it. I never got into arcade gaming. What's up? Dance Revolution arcade machine. Dan on stream. That sounds pretty good, man. You can post a link to your home arcade video so you can see the decor mod. Let me know. You'd be happy to share. Yeah, definitely. Send me an email at kongzerus.arcade@gmail.com and see if I can pull it up. Let me type that into the chat real fast. If anybody has pictures and video they'd like to share, send that to me into my email and I'll see if I can pull it up. Just put a comment in the chat and we'll go from there. All right. So let's talk about what is in fog machine for the ambiance.
Oh, dear.
Ooh, that would be really crazy. Black lighting could be fun, but that would be interesting to see what shows up. Black lights. I think a lot of cat pee would show up somewhere. You think?
No, our cats are good about going into their bathroom.
Not recently.
Well, that's someone's problem, right? Would you like to elaborate on that story? Because now we have this inside joke that needs to be shared.
Well, Mrs. Kongzerus was visiting some family last weekend, so I got the house all by myself with the kiddos, and I may have forgotten to change the cat litter box for at least 24 hours. So they decided to leave a nice little present for the kiddos.
For the kiddos?
It was on top of the kiddos' sleeping stuff, and so daughter was like, "What is that?" So that was a fun time. So yeah,
they don't leave stray stuff anywhere.
They like clean stuff. What could I say? Okay, so let's go over just a couple of the different cabinet types that I have in the arcade, because I think that would be fun to just kind of talk through, because that'll help me talk about like what's missing. I'm trying to get some consensus and some interaction from the crowd of what else you think what might be missing.
I do not need the crowd to tell you what else you need to buy.
Yes, let me know if you think there's something else that I'm missing, because that's really key. That's key. All right, 4-player beat 'em up cab. I have a TMNT that's modded with the Raspberry Pi. Got all my beat 'em ups covered, 4-player games. Like, I don't need. That's why I had a Simpsons cabinet. I was like, oh, I really like the X-Men cabinet, but there's just really no need. I have one 4-player cabinet with beat 'em ups modded pretty good. I have an Atari Tempest stock. It has trackball and spinner games, right? And so for classic spinner trackball games, I never really grew up playing a ton of trackball spinner games. Did you ever play like Galaga or Centipede with the trackball and the spinner and all that good stuff?
I don't think I did.
No?
Back then, I would have been on the sit down one, right?
Well, you have cocktail versions of it too.
Yeah.
So I have it mostly for just variety, but from a nostalgic standpoint, I think the Tempest cabs looks gorgeous. I was born in 1983, so I'm 40 years old, and a lot of those cabinets was I was more of a 90s arcade baby, so I have it just to round out kind of the classic collection. And so next to it, I have a class of 81 Pac-Man with Galaga and Pac-Man. Again, Pac-Man I played a lot of, because that was an arcade that still continued into the 90s. But even Galaga and some of the games that are in the cabinet, I haven't played a ton of them in the arcade. So Pac-Man Class of 81 and Tempest are like my classic 80s cabinet collection. In addition to, I'll just jump to Tron and Dragon's Lair. Those two cabinets, I do remember seeing them, at least Dragon's Lair. I remember playing Dragon's Lair and trying to, and like being so frustrated with it. Tron, I don't think I was ever like obsessed with Tron at all until this hobby came though. This arcade hobby was one of the ones that really got me into Tron. So I have that modded with the PC inside of it. So that's like my 80s cab collection. So that's the 80s side of cab collection. Let's go into shooting cabinets. Okay, so shooting cabinets, I have quite a few. I have a modded point blank cabinet with real gunfire IR. So that is probably is my favorite shooting game of all time, is Point Blank. So yes. And so my first light gun cab that I ever got was the Buck Hunter cabinet. And so that was fun to have Mrs. Kong Doris make some content on Buck Hunter. It was bucking awesome. Zero nostalgia for that game with the rifles and things. So I eventually sold it, but Point Blank was absolutely one of the best things that I've wanted to do. So Point Blank, the Time Crisis cabinet, I think, even though I technically don't need it, it's modded with a retro shooter. It looks freaking good. It looks gorgeous. Let me just like tilt the camera a little bit there so you can see it. So it was Sticky Buttons Arcade recently messaged me, and then he sent me the Namco stickers as well as the Namco sides.
Oh, you feel it.
Doesn't it look nice though? It looks so good. Yeah, it's vinyl stickers for the Namco logos that just make it's probably one of the most gorgeous looking arcades, even though I technically don't need it because I have the Point Blank cabinet. From a look standpoint,
so I really can we sell it for $300?
No.
Like best offer?
No. I like it too much. It looks so good, even though I technically don't need it. It has retro shooter. Again, I have my gunfire IR build on it. It has a 19-inch screen on there. I don't know. I think it looks cool. I technically don't need it, but I think it looks cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. So I also have a Terminator 2 back here. Which is another gun cabinet. When Terminator 2, it's stock. I did the recessed screen monitor mod. It's also a cool looking cabinet. It's one of the ones that when people come over to the arcade, they gravitate to. Like people skip the Point Blank. They're like, I don't care about that. Like people may look at the Time Crisis and they're like, meh. Terminator 2 from the light gun cabinet build is the one that most people are attracted to come out and play.
Why is that?
Like people remember playing Terminator 2 in the arcade. It was probably one of the most popular gun games in the arcade. Like, I had a good friend that used to work in there with Red Cross, Jeannie, right? She came over. She's like, oh, I remember that game. And she was playing it, right? It's like you come in here, you try to see what you recognize. That happens to be the one that people recognize the most. So while I technically don't need it either, I could play it on a couple other cabinets. It's kind of fun because if people are coming to the arcade, it's one of those things where I want people to be able to pick it up and just play. So those are my light gun cabinets. All right, let's get into my fighting game cabinet. So I have some fighting game cabinet classics.
Many.
Well, Street Fighter 2, obviously, Big Blue, just like the classic. I was talking to the guys from Don's Arcade that I visited on Friday. Like, so they're the Arcade 1-Up hyper fighting community. They mentioned the Yoga Flame PCB or the new HS5 PCB. They say that it plays better than the Big Blue PCB. So for me, I'm like, oh, maybe that's a reason to upgrade to the HS5 Deluxe. Get rid of the Big Blue. maybe.
Or just get rid of it entirely.
Maybe, yeah. So
I realize
so
I have to sit this far up for this camera to finally
I know.
register me.
Yeah. It's kind of we have to like go back and forth a little bit. So I have Street Fighter 2, Big Blue, Mortal Kombat, which I think Mortal Kombat 1, which looks great. Those two are great. And then in the corner I have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 1, which are kind of the two cabinets. I play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 the most because it's just a little bit easier for me to get into. And then I don't like the design of those two cabinets though, unfortunately. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and then the MVC 1 cabinet is like my last standing shark fin design from the Gen 1 cabinets that I still have. So those are my fighting cabinets. I love all of them for nostalgia's sake. I like the MVC 1 cabinet. That could be one that's on the chopping block because it's repetitive, but I like MVC 1. It's my favorite game, even though I can play it on the MVC 2 cabinet.
So interesting enough, the Marvel 360 said, outside of nostalgia, have you picked up an arcade one-up cab of a game that you didn't grow up with to finally have to try and become familiar with? Arcade one-up introduced me to
Galaxian. Yeah. Yeah, I would say Tron. Tron was something I've never played in the arcade ever.
Oh.
And then the first time I ever saw it in person was we went to that one arcade in Claremont like a couple years ago. Like I've never seen one in the wild, had no idea what the gameplay was, and I just loved the look of the arcade. And then when I first started playing it, I was like, hey, this is a kind of fun game. Like it was a very, very short mini games you would play. So Tron was one of those games that I got introduced to that now I feel like is a permanent fixture in my arcade collection because it looks freaking awesome.
As we're talking about our own arcades, did you want to check out a link in an email of someone's home arcade?
I will get to Video Vegas's link in just a second. So we're gonna finish kind of where we're at with our game room tour. So I have my fighting game cabinets. Then I get into some of the modern. Ooh. I would say, my modded Tron cabinet wonderfully. Not quite. I like my
$400 or best offer.
No, Mrs. Conzeres. It is modded with the PC and lots of goodies. So it's
we have a broken panel, Tron.
I do have a broken panel. It has the S panel. That's the one you stepped in. It has a special sentimental value on it. It says this panel was broken by Mrs. Conzeres.
Cannot be 400. It's 450.
Oh yes, you added value to it by stepping on it and breaking the panel
and signing it.
So much. She signed it too. It says #divorce court on it if I need to.
So Chris and XNW, if you're interested in buying it for a low cost of $450.
Negative. Stop trying to sell my stuff. All right. Anyways, funny enough, I don't have. Actually, I just thought about it. Like something that I got rid of a while ago that I haven't replaced. My original Star Wars arcade one-up cabinet, the one that I like pretty much made me at least somewhat notorious on YouTube. It's gone. I have no more Star Wars arcade one-up cabinets with the yoke in my house right now, and that's only because future project. I may have a cockpit still in mind. Dream cabinet, Star Wars arcade cockpit with the yoke. I have no idea where I was going to put it though. So that's the problem. No space, zero space for stuff. But
no, you're not going to build it. It's not going to show
If things kind of move around a little bit, there may be some space that could be done. So that's a possibility. But I have a Star Wars arcade trilogy mod that I also made, which is like my big 90s cabinet that I have here. So that would say kind of round out my big arcade. Oh, I have a custom Macross arcade that is like a dual stick flight stick thing that I can play virtual on. And then I have my Neo Geo MBSX and my iArcade.
He basically locked off the head and just put it on top.
Yeah, I took off the bases and I just put them on some shelves. Yep. So they're my multi-cade, and I have my MBSX because I really like those as well. And then I have my pinball machine. So obviously I have some pinball machines. I have a virtual pinball machine downstairs that I'm working on. But that's a cute
comment from Brad D. Realizing he didn't realize
Picturing your house without an arcade one of Star Wars in it blows your mind. I know, right? Isn't that weird that I don't have my original mod anymore? It was nostalgic to me to kind of part ways with it, but I let it go to somebody that is local. So if I ever wanted to see it, I potentially could. So I think that was kind of like my biggest.
I suppose you can look at it this way. You built something that was so great that the community really wanted. So wouldn't it make sense to give it to the community as opposed to like keeping it in your house and never having it on?
Maybe. No, it turns on. But yeah, it
doesn't turn me on.
I always felt like since that was my big mod and I've made so many versions of it, sometimes I got sick of like looking at it or playing them because because I made so many of those mods. I've modded at least over 100 panels in my time modding it and building cabinets. So it's one of those I feel like I needed to take a break. And I was like, if I ever wanted to, I could build another one was like my thing. But at the moment, I have no current Star Wars arcade one-up program. But that's why worry? You've got a battle pod, right? So I mean, like, yeah, I have Star Wars battle pod and I have Star Wars trilogy. So technically, I mean, the classic arcade games with the yoke, there's just like that ability to play with the yoke. Yeah, new camera. What's up, P-Dubs? This is Justin let me borrow his Canon M200 and it looks freaking amazing, right?
So now you have to see what else you can film with this new camera.
I'm really excited. I asked him too. I was like, "Do you film B-roll
You are
and other
very
things?"
excited.
I know. I'm excited that I can see your face and give you schmoochy kisses. But yeah, I'm excited to test this out for live stream purposes and other stuff too. P-Dub says, I have an unopened Star Wars in my garage beat. Make it a 101 modded panels coming soon. Yeah, that was actually a future potential project to make pre-modded panels and PCs that I could just ship to people and they can just mod themselves, place it without them having to ship me the stuff. So that's another future potential project that I have. If I finish all my projects and I'm like, hey, I just want to be able to.
Is it gonna be like tech support calls where like,
no,
show me your screen. Click on the OK button. No, that's not the OK button.
Yeah, there's limited support that I do for like the mods that I provide for the PCs. Okay, so I went through everything. So the one thing that I have a ton of nostalgia for that I don't have a current great way to play it right now. I was a huge fan of rhythm games in the like early 2000s and even mid 2000s when the Rock Band Guitar Hero phase came out. Like I was, can you run and grab the DDR panel from over there? Por favor. Yes, I love you. I love you. Okay, so very, very soon, I was talking to Frequency Style Arcades, Giovanni Sean. You might see him on a couple of different chats. I don't know if he's watching this. But he makes hand versions of either DDR or Pump It Up. And I was a huge DDR fan in high school and early college. I played a lot in high school. I had pads that we would go to my friend's house and we would play on a PS1 and we would just spend hours playing DDR. We would be obsessed with the music. And then in my freshman year of going to UCLA, I joined the DDR club and I was the treasurer of the DDR club. And we would go to Escape, which is the arcade, and we would play DDR in between classes. And it was freaking awesome. So, but it really peaked. The version of DDR that really peaked for me was DDR Max. That was kind of like my main game. My 3 different songs I would pick and go to would be Candy. I love playing Candy. I love playing this song called True. And then the last one, what's the other one that I would do? Candy, True, maybe Freckles. No, there's this other song I would play. Anyways. But what did like DDR? Like, did you ever play DDR when you were younger?
No, it cost like $1 to play.
No, you used to play Pump It Up more.
Yeah, we downloaded. I mean, we acquired the game somehow.
Oh yeah, when I hacked my PS1, the first games I actually downloaded to play were a ton of DDR games on my PS1. Okay, anyways, so this, you want to show this off? This is this way. This is a hand version of DDR, which is skinned as DDR Max. And so it's modded using kind of an arcade one-up back panel. And so the back side of it is put into here. It's plugged into a USB and the encoder didn't use it. So when you press each button, the button actually lights up to the actual color. So, and the micro switches are really nice. So it's very, very, very nicely done, Gio. So I'm excited to finally get this installed. The way he has it right now, he has some like rubber put onto this area. Tell us you're millennial without telling us you're millennial. I was in a DDR club in college. Shut your face, JT Brunick. Yeah. I'm an Xennial, all right? 1983 babies.
So wait.
Straddle that line between millennials and Gen Xers, right?
You're giving me too much content.
Gen Y, baby. Gen Y.
Talk about the rubber that you put on so we can straddle something in this conversation.
Yes, so we put some rubbers onto the bottom of this so it can just stay on and not slip and slide. Yeah, you want to make sure you're nice and secure while you're tapping the buttons.
Or you tap more than that.
Yes, but this is exciting. So Rhythm Arcade Games is probably like, I don't know, I don't have a donor cab to be able to make a DDR skinned arcade cabinet. So I could probably acquire one and make one.
So is that what you call an extra cabinet? Is a donor cab?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or I could like design my own cabinet or something like that, because this would fit into an arcade 1-up type panel, like a 3/4 scale hand version of DDR. Probably is what I can do, and I think I would still have nostalgia and play with it. Because I mean,
you would totally play with it.
Yes, I like playing with my hands. Yes. But not only that, I also was really into Guitar Hero and Rock Band. We spent many years playing Rock Band and Karaoke Revolution and all those things too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a big part of like our college, early adult years, we're playing those games and going to parties. I remember going to party and bringing my entire setup to a party just so we could play Rock Band or Guitar Hero or things like that too. I remember. Do you remember when you took me to Catalina when I was 25?
Hit 24. No, we couldn't rent cars.
Oh yes, 24. Okay, so we weren't 25. We were 24 years old. We went to Catalina Island.
Golf carts.
Cannot even rent a golf cart. But one of the key things that was happening back then, there was a bar that was doing a rock band night. Like bars used to host rock band nights, and they would have people come up and play. And I was obsessed with rock band and playing all this stuff. So I don't know if I probably like, I'm not the full on rock band stuff, but I do have something here. I want to get this really fast.
As he's going to get stuff. This is so much fun.
All right, here it is. I'm back. I got modded Guitar Hero. No, so this is Guitar Hero guitars modded by Eric Esparza, and they're all white here because this is 3D printed. But this plugs into a USB into a PC, and it registers as an Xbox controller. And these all light up the different LED colors too. When it lights up, these are 3D printed. And so now you can play Clone Hero, which is the PC version of Guitar Hero. And so I can play pretty much every Guitar Hero game ever created on these modded guitars too. So I've had these sitting and waiting. I've had the DDR panel. So here's my pitch of what the next project could be. Rhythm arcade in general, including a hand panel for DDR, but then I would also mount the guitars on the front or on the side so we could play Guitar Hero if you wanted to. So it'd be a combo Guitar Hero DDR cabinet.
So
what?
Folks would be playing DDR and Guitar Hero at the same time.
At the same time. No, right? Like imagine like a combo cabinet, DDR and Guitar Hero as like my last big arcade project that like I've not done before.
I really appreciate Stringers for $2, but we are definitely missing a blood pressure test machine.
Is that for Mrs. Kongzuris every time like I do it? Please let me know, dude. Isn't that a good idea? A DDR cabinet comboed with Guitar Hero. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would think it would be fun. Right? And they made a DJ version of a guitar. Yes, I have the DJ Hero sets. I have DJ Hero, the Wii version. I even bought the like stand for DJ Hero to be able to play that too. So I can mod DJ Hero into that too. I can bring all my rhythm things. I can bring Donkey Konga out there and plug into Donkey Konga, and we can do Donkey Konga cabinets.
It's like, do you not hear this madness of things compiling on top of each other?
It just look, like even Giovanni Sean says I've been summoned because we're talking about your panel right now. I think I'm just talking about I really want a rhythm arcade. Like, and yeah, I could probably plug in a PC and have it on my big screen TV. But the fact that if I could have it in my arcade, I feel like that would be like one thing I don't have. I don't have anything that's rhythm based.
No.
Tap,
no.
Tap,
and tap, again, we really appreciate Team Marvel 360 for that $2. Cheers, Mr. and Mr. Kongs. Your innuendos are the best. He's gonna hear this all on replay and realize all the stuff. All the
things she's been saying. I'm just excited in my nerdy world.
What happens when you give me my own mic?
Goal all out, DDR, summon, high score. What does that mean, right? I mean, it's. I think it's gonna be.
It's gonna be this like monolithic game where we don't even know what we're playing anymore at this point. It's like, can we just make noise?
Actually, some of these things are like super huge to have. So I mean, yes, I played Guitar Hero Arcade, and yes, I've played DDR, but like those are so big to have an actual real version, or like dance pads and all that stuff. So I think it would give me enough itch, like it would scratch the itch to have a rhythm arcade game in my house. Because sometimes I just want to get in there and just be like, I was my little butterfly. Green, black, and blue. Oh, that's DDR third mix. That's too old.
Oh my god.
Boom Boom Dollar. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah, I was in this
saying.
acapella group and we used to sing DDR songs too. So I mean, that's how nerdy I was in college. Like we were so obsessed with DDR, we used to sing songs about it. So
that's just you. That's just you.
DDR cap. All right, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. The parts are already here. So all right, what other questions and thoughts do people have? See, Charlie Chuck says it right. That's there's only one thing that you're. Oh, Charlie Chuck knows that I miss. Charlie Chuck at the very beginning of the stream was like, I'm missing a full-on racing sim. So I don't know. I think I'm satisfied. I have enough of that itch scratch with my Star Wars mod where I can play racing games, but he has a full-on like 3-screen sim where it's like 3 monitors and you sit in it and there's like full force feedback. He's the type of guy.
Looking at?
Yeah, he's the one where you need to like put on like real gloves to touch everything because it shakes you all the way and the seat moves and it vibrates while you're playing and turning. So yeah, that's what he's talking about. I'm also missing a ball pit. Oh no, we actually do have a ball pit. We have a ball pit. So how did you know? How did you know we're missing our ball pit? I know. Yeah, that's funny. The cats love the ball pit, right?
Yep, they do love the ball pit.
DDR, man. It's gonna be good. Dora says, are you really glad to hear 3D TVs? Well, yeah, I never got into the 3D TV phase of things. All right, let me go check my email right now. And see if we can see. So earlier I was asking if anybody has pictures or videos of kind of some cool arcades that you want to show off. I think we have some stuff for Andy's game room, as well as.
Oh no, that's just a picture. We appreciate that. Show it off. I love it. Andy took the time to clip it and send it to us.
All right, so we got Andy's game room. I'm gonna pull that up in a second, and a video game Vegas right here. So we got a couple things.
You pulled the picture. What are we doing? Go. Vegas. Now you get to hear us.
Oh my goodness, video game Vegas. You're so cute. All right, we're gonna show off some game rooms. If you no worries, Giovanni Sean. I'm gonna get with you soon. As soon as I actually download all the games and get that set up, I'll connect with you. I'm gonna have Gio come on. We'll talk about frequency style arcades. But if you have any last pictures of your game rooms to help inspire, the last thing I need to do is decor my game room with some extra things. So that's the last thing that we're going to be doing. Yes.
What is that? I think this is worth sharing.
No, it's just a pic.
And it's still totally worth sharing. Oh. You're going to share it regardless. Let's go back to our
I see.
Stuff.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So that's what you want to share?
I do want to share.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. So we have a couple pictures that we're going to share in just a second. The first thing we wanted to share was a picture of a cat. And what is this cat doing?
Enjoying the show.
Obviously. He is doing this.
Yeah. So thank you. That just happened in real life.
This just happened. Yeah, look, we have a cat that's watching
and my cats are, I have no idea where my cats are.
That's awesome. All right, so first off, we're going to check out Andy's game room. We're going to go to his YouTube channel and check it out real quick and see what's happening on Andy's game room. So let's check out this Chrome tab, also share audio.
And he's clicking on this and he hit share.
Yeah, Andy's game room. What's up? There it is. All right, it's Andy's game room. He's got 35 subs. So head over to Andy's game room if you can. I'll throw that into the chat right now if you guys want to give him a sub if you like what you see. So let's go ahead and do that real quick.
There's too many things to click on.
There's too many things to click on. All right, Andy's game room. That's your kitty.
Yes.
I know. All right, so let's check out Andy's game room right now. Let's see. He has some other things here. Let's see if we have a arcade walkthrough. This is what we want to see right here. Check out this arcade walkthrough. It's a rally, Fort Walton Beach, November 2023 arcade game video. All right. Oh, nice. He has some real pinball machines, some Terminators, some Monsters, and Elvira House of Horrors. Very nice. Is this your game room or is this somebody else's?
Oh, it's
really rad. Is this is not your arcade, right? All right, I was about to say, I was like, is this your arcade? I was like, holy crap. No, this is not your arcade, right? This is somebody else's arcade. Tim says it's actually so this a public place that you're saying.
But it's still really cool to see.
It is very cool. I love looking arcade tours. Okay, so is this really rad weekend arcade walkthrough? Is this your arcade or no, Andy?
No,
Let us
it's
know.
part of Really Rad Weekend.
What is Really Rad Weekend?
Oh my god. One of my kitties always makes an appearance in my videos.
Tilting T Pinball.
I went to see these cats.
Yeah.
No, it's not his. It was a convention.
Oh, it was a convention. Okay, not your mind. That was a convention. All right, got it. All right, show me. So which one of these is a video of your arcade for your lighting stuff that you got? You got to show me. Which one is these? Star Wars mods and bezels. So there's Andy right there. He's doing some other stuff. Let's look at his videos.
I think he just wanted to show us his kitty watching the
show.
He
did.
Yes.
Oh, he did?
That's why
he wanted to show us the picture. Oh, I thought he wanted to show us the thing. Okay, I see.
I got you.
You got me. All right, he wanted to show off the kitty hanging out, but this is your... All right, check out Andy's game room. I'm going to check out the rest of your stuff, man. Walk through your A1 of staff and cabs with mods. So check out Andy's game room. Appreciate that. All right. Cool. Thank you for sharing the picture as well as your YouTube channel with us. Okay, so
but we shared your channel with everybody, so
we did. I hope
take
you guys,
a watch.
Yeah, definitely give a sub to Andy's game room if you can. All right, next up, we're going to check out Video Game Vegas. So Video Game Vegas, I've seen you definitely in the chat, for years watching the channel. So thanks so much for supporting. Let's check out Video Game Vegas. He says he's very cute. He's like 24 minutes video. And lots of stuff happening. So, okay, that's kind of a cool box. All right, we'll just see if we can skip ahead a little bit, get to some of the arcade tour parts.
Let us know if there's somewhere in the spot of your video you want us to check out.
Holy, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Little miniature section. Yeah.
Christmas Town.
Christmas Town, moving through. It's got little people moving up and down. I like it. Got that Donkey Kong cabinet there, Star Wars arcade cabinet. So talking about decor, look at the lights. Isn't that freaking cool? Like imagine like a beam coming out like in the corner right there. I really dig the lighting. That looks really cool. So I think that's awesome.
Oh, projector on the ceiling.
Projector on the screen. Oh wow, is that a different art thingy with the pixels? That's dope.
Wow, that's very tight.
Video Game Vegas, you got to make a panning one where you kind of like pan and give us a tour. Next time you do one of these, oh my gosh, this is like a 2-hour video, dude. You got to like do a full, like a 10-minute tour. You walk through everything so I can see all the goodies. All right. So he's got his new wave toy stuff out there. He's got wallcades. I like all the flashing lights back there. The flashing lights are pretty dope. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty freaking cool. It's like kind of doing a slideshow version of his setup there. It's got some virtual pinball. That's is that TV box?
It is a TV box.
Yeah, it's like a TV box there. So nice little setup. So Video Game Vegas, thanks for sharing this. It definitely gives me some thoughts. I think the thing that I like the most is that little light bar that you got right there. This little light bar, I'm gonna look into that. Let me know if you can send me the links to that. And he has like the little cubes in the background too for everything. That's really cool. Is that like a fish tank?
It looks like no, it's not a fish tank. It's just
it's like
a cutout.
A digital. Oh, that's like a digital like screen in the background too.
But then he has like little miniatures.
Yeah, and he has like little lights up on the background too, and little decor thingies. All right. Check out Video Game Vegas if you want to.
So much things crammed into one room. If there's a fire, what would you grab?
What would be the thing you grab if you needed to? But check out Video Game Vegas if you can. Always looking for more ideas. So yeah, Govee has great lighting options. They probably 80 to 88% of their products right now. Yeah, so I went to the Govee booth at CES and I was kind of blown away by all the different options out there. But Govee is like, I would say, one of the biggest name brand LED lighting companies that everything integrates together. For example, I have some light bulbs that change colors. And so actually I don't even have my lights on in the arcade.
No,
I just realized that.
We don't need it on right now. This is why we have a $500.
Did that change anything? Could you tell?
It went purple.
Went black to purple. Ooh, see, that adds the ambiance. That's the only light
turn it to green because it also reflects how much our electricity bill has been costing.
Dude, it looks nice. So I have little lights up there that turn different colors, but I have different brands, and so if I pick one brand of lighting, I feel like I need to stick with it, so that way I can control it all with one thing. Because I think that's my problem. I have different types of companies now, but Govee, I know that's the brand. All right. Well, I think that's it for the stream. I really wanted to kind of just talk through what's next for the arcade. I think the Rhythm arcade is a pretty big winner there. So Mrs. Gongleras, right? Ready to get some tapping going on?
No, that doesn't work. That
no?
doesn't work.
No? My innuendos aren't as good as yours.
No, it's not as
Would
good
you
as
like
mine.
me to plug up some holes and drink some more
Wait till you
beer
watch the stream again. You'll love it so much. We really enjoyed Video Game Vegas sharing your room. There was so much going on in there, but like I want to know, I'm curious, like what are you most proud of?
Yeah. Video Game Vegas says, thanks. I'll send you the links to different lighting. The box you're looking at is a Bluetooth speaker that shows you the lyrics of the song that you played. Transparent LCD. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, transparent LCDs are like a big thing now. Chris says he uses 3D light squares to make a Qbert sign. That's awesome. Darkrum says that you can use Govi through Wi-Fi by changing your lighting. Yeah, so that's the thing.
That's
like
kind of what we have right now.
I want to be able to like sync them all into the different ones. I don't know if Govi makes these light bulbs. Maybe I'll replace these with the Govi ones too. Mix and match. You stick to Life X and Govi. They both can be used. Annie's game room says, I like how your game room looks. The lighting looks really good. Yeah, I am looking for keeping it somewhat simplistic. I don't have a lot of wall space though to kind of put stuff up there. I think we have our row of plushies that I kind of like. That's a very nostalgic for us.
That has to stay up there,
but yeah, there's not much else to do. So I have very, very limited space.
I have the ceiling.
I have this ceiling.
Maybe we did hang up
a mirror.
We did hang up at one point we were camping in our den area and we hung up a hook up there. So maybe like there's something to be said about putting stuff on the ceiling. Yeah, hanging something. Oh, that neon.
Yeah, neon signs. What if we get like an actual neon sign? That'd be cool to replace maybe where the clock is and actually have like a neon sign that's a like electronic sign. That would be cool. Maybe neon up there. I think that would be really cool. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining the stream. Hope you guys have a wonderful Sunday. Thank you, Justin, Console Kits. Hope you're enjoying life out there, man, because you let us borrow this fancy new camera and you look crisp, Mrs. Kongzeros. You look super clean.
Like a mother?
Like a mother. Clean like a mother. Shout out to Bobby Vu. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time.
We appreciate you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. See you later. Bye.